am I audible now? I think the video ended. So can somebody comment to tell me if I'm audible or not? Can somebody hear me? Uh, can you hear me or not? Okay. So I was talking about if you are doing PhD in Kashmir University, you should uh, also you should talk to your professors, and they also have a lot of knowledge. You should talk to your seniors, uh, and they will guide you regarding all these things. And another thing is that one of the major reasons that there are few women in science, and what is the major setback is that many women have I mean, everybody has children, but women are the ones who have to take care of them. Or yeah, and so when women have children, many women take a break from science, and then they think that they cannot come back, which is not true actually. So there is leave that you can take. Why, even if you're doing a PhD and you have a baby, so there are a lot of so you can take leave and you can come back, and there are a lot of facilities available for such women. Like there are crashes inside the institute, so that you have access to your children any time of the day that you want to. So if you are going to any good institute, you have all these facilities that will make your life easy, so that you can do research and take care of your child as well. And now if you have taken a break, if you had some health issues and you took a break during that time, then there are a lot of fellowships that are available specifically for women who have taken a break due to health reasons, or when they had a child. So like there is DST provides a lot of fellowships like that, Department of Science and Technology. I think few days back, Dr. Zaida Kamri had posted some of those. DBT has fellowships like that. SERB, UGC, DHR. So a lot of fellowships are available. So even if you take a break for a long period, you don't have to consider leaving science. What you can do is that you can come back with those fellowships. So all you have to do is keep track of those things. And even there are international fellowships available as well for your travel, or even for women who want to come back to science after taking a break because they had a child. So and and even even if you don't take a break, you don't need to take a long break if you are in some good institute and you have some good support. Because a lot of things these days, people are realizing that women have a big setback because of this. So so you will see that there are like I said, crashes are available, and even if you go to conferences, there are facilities available so that you can take your babies with you and things like that. So that is another problem. And then people also ask us, many women say that there's a problem in regarding harassment, which although very rare cases, but unfortunately very rare cases do happen. So for that, in every institute, every good institute, there are committees. So there are committees where you can go and voice your problem. You do not have to, always remember that you do not have to take any nonsense from anybody. So you can report any kind of issue you have, and you can, always leave the lab, join some other lab, or you can leave the institute, you can join a lot of other institutes as well. So do not be afraid if such things, I'm not trying to scare you here. These things do not happen, these are like very rare events, but I'm saying that even if these rare events happen, then stay strong. Do not raise your voice, and then that person will be punished accordingly, and then you can change the lab and things like that, or you can even go to some other place. So these are the things that I could think of right now. And yeah, so regarding the financial thing that people keep asking in your bachelor's, if you are doing a project or if you are traveling, you won't get financial assistance. But if you have done masters, or if you after your masters, you will get all these scholarships so that you can apply for financial assistance. And yeah, so if you have any questions, you can ask me, and you can ask a lot of other people as well. We are there to help you. And I can talk more about science if so. If anybody has anything to ask, they can ask me. Okay. Yeah, these are the major problems that I could think of. So just to summarize, if you are doing your bachelor's, go to apply, write to professors. It doesn't have to be a formal. It can be, by not formal, I mean it doesn't need to be advertised. You can just write to any professor and ask them if you can do a short project with them. And you can look for integrated PhD exams. And if you are masters, give all the fellowship exams, and then also give these entrance exams for PhD. And also, if you want to go abroad, then work as a JRF in some good institute and then go there. And if you are doing it in Kashmir, then go for conferences, build collaborations, and travel. So that is it. Please shed some light on women connectivity and how we can be how we can be helpful in a productive way. Yes. So collaboration is the key in science, and in everything actually. So in Kashmir scientist, for example, we have very wonderful women in all stages of their careers. And even for every scientist, you are specialized in a particular field. So if you want to bring a lot of good things in your research, lot of different perspectives, you can always collaborate. So even so you can collaborate with anyone. There needn't be women only, but what women can do, knowing that there are a lot of issues that are there for women in science. But what we can do is what we can help each other. We can build each other. People who are below you, bring them up. People who are above you, they can take you up, and things like that. So if you're doing you can always collaborate. And like even in Kashmir scientist, what we are trying to do is uh, so even in Sprouts program, we noticed that many women, they just register, and then not even they're not very serious, because they don't know a lot of things, whether their families will allow them and things like that. So there are a lot of unsaid problems that are there. But what I insist is that if you talk to women scientists and discuss problems with them, then then it becomes easier. You never know where the solution will come from. And also another thing that I wanted to tell, it's for everybody, is that we tend to think about one particular subject that we have studied, like I did masters in biotechnology. So when I was giving interviews, so when people ask me what are you interested in, so I would say genetic engineering, things like that we have studied during our masters. So we tend to, or protein folding. So but that's what I said during my interviews, but I ended up doing PhD in developmental neurobiology. So my point being is that we think that we need to know the subjects very well, whichever we are applying to. But that is not the case. When you are doing your PhD, you can absolutely go to a new field of research, and then you start learning from the beginning. So that's what this is a whole, this is a big process that requires a lot of time and effort, and it also requires you to learn something new. So they don't really expect you to know everything for that subject. So once you join the lab, so you rotate, you will join some lab, then you start learning that thing one by one. So yeah, so I did my bachelor's in botany, actually, the general biology. Then I did my master's in sorry, I did my master's in biotechnology. Then I did master's project in plant biotechnology, and then PhD in neurobiology, developmental neurobiology. And now what I'm doing is like very different from my PhD work. I studied this development and signals. Now I'm doing neuroscience. So like how the brain actually functions after it's developed. So what I mean to say is that you should broaden your search, and you should broaden. Even in NCBS, there were a lot of people in our batch who were from physics background, who were from chemistry and mathematics background, and they wanted to do biology. So imagine if a person from mathematics, chemistry, or physics background is coming to do PhD in biology. Why cannot you, who already has a some little experience, do something in a different field? So you should not restrict yourself into, because there are a lot of things that we would not have even studied during our course. A lot of branches are like that, lot of fields are like that. Even biophysics, no, not biophysics, but even if it, and it doesn't apply to biology only, it applies to all fields. So what I'm trying to say is that do not restrict your focus on something that you have read it during your masters. You can venture into new area and you will do really well, because it's a long time, and you actually start learning from scratch and then build something, and then discover something entirely new that nobody knows about. Oh, you aren't audible at all. Oh, sorry. What it takes to break barriers? Can Kashmiri women look beyond social and academic stereotypes? It's a good question. What it takes to break barriers? It depends on what the barriers are. I I think most of the problems that Kashmiri women face is not because they cannot do something. The people keep asking what kind of support can we give women. I think the most important support that anybody can give women is let them do what they want to do. you know it's People are set back mostly by their families. They do not allow them to go ahead in this field or pursue this field, thinking that, I don't know what they think. Yeah, because it requires a lot of time and commitment and things like that. But I think most of the issues that women have is because they're not allowed to do something. And what we as a women can do, but what we people can do is not stop women from doing it. So families, the parents, I request them, we let your daughters do what they want to do. And if you're married, like there are a lot of guys over here, support your wives. um, it's a very important thing. Support in the sense, let them do what they want to do. And now what women can do is that most of the women have to take a stand at some point in their lives. So stand up for your rights, and also try to convince your family. Like I said, my father was not very happy me going, not because he didn't want me to study. He was really wanted to, but he was afraid that if I would be safe and things like that. And then when he saw it for himself, the solution was to bring him with me, so that he could see it for himself. And then he was really content and happy when he saw the people there, when he saw the place. Then he was happy that the research you're going to do is fine. Another problem that women have is people think that when you are doing PhD, it's a long term commitment, you cannot get married and things like that. This is a problem in Kashmir. But you see lot of PhD students are married in, in India. They had like lot of PhD students have families, they have kids, and they manage both. And I think the way um, Kashmiri people should think of is that there are plenty of doctors, lady doctors in Kashmir um, who work really hard and they have families, and that's okay with them. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Then you are doing research, so you can have families. And what I think men here can do is support their wives, and parents should not stop their daughters from going ahead in this field. And yeah, you can always balance between family and friends. I mean, not family and friends, but family and research. So that is the thing. I think I have been very lucky in that case. I have very supportive husband. But I have seen many cases, and the reason I was willing to talk about it today is that it really hurts me when I think about them. They were like many brilliant women who have like qualified all these exams and everything, and they just their families did not allow them to go ahead. you know it's really sad. It's a loss. It's a loss for our nation, loss for science, loss for everybody actually. So that's why we here are really committed to help you in all the ways we can. So and there's always a solution. Find an alternative solution. Even if you cannot go abroad, or you cannot go somewhere to some good institute, and you do it in Kashmir. There are a lot of brilliant women who are not lot but very few that you can count on fingers, because there are few women in science who are doing well in Kashmir as well. And like I said, even after your PhD, there are a lot of fellowships that you can apply for. Like if you're a topper, you can apply for this Inspire fellowship after your masters for your PhD. And after your PhD, you can apply for Inspire fellowship that will allow you to become a faculty member after directly after your PhD. Basically, if you can join some institute and you can become a faculty member, and a lot of other fellowships as well, especially from even for women. Like even if you had taken a break, so take for things like that, they're from Department of Science and Technology, and from DBT. I'm not sure if from CSIR as well, but DST and DBT have a lot of fellowships that will provide you with the platform so that you can start your own lab even in Kashmir. So yes. How can we get involved in nation building right from the very fundamental level? How should educated women extend their contributions? Yeah, like I said, women have a very important role. Women have a very important role in society, from even from the start of the family to like how you raise your children and the values that you give your children. And in addition to that, when you are a scientist, you are contributing to the whole world. So if you have educated women, you have a better nation. What about postdoc opportunities for women in particular? Is it difficult for women or same as men? So the thing is that it is not difficult for women in terms of opportunities, or in terms of how I would say it, intellectual problems or things like that. It's only difficult for women when they're not allowed to do something, or when they have uh, they have taken a break. But then postdoc opportunities are, if you have done a good PhD, you have good publication, you can apply anywhere, and you can contact for postdocs. There are some stereotypes and unsaid biases that are there, but if you have a good profile, then it is not a problem. No, she cannot. She will work hard, but ultimately she will be hearing शादी क्यों नहीं कर रही, बाहर क्यों है. Okay. Yeah, so there are two things. Uh, uh, शादी क्यों नहीं करी बाहर क्यों है. Yes, this thing happens, but there are two things, like I said. One is that you don't have to listen to what people are saying. You do what you are doing. And another thing is that you can get married while you are doing PhD. I mean, bahar kyun hai, there are so many Kashmiri people, Kashmiri guys outside as well. So if your parents are looking for somebody, they can look for people who are outside as well. And yeah, I also didn't get married during PhD because of that fear. You don't know. But now when I look at my husband, I think that if I could have married him earlier as well. And there are a lot of because if you have if you are with the right person, then you don't need to worry about all these things. And yeah, there are a lot of women who are not from Kashmir as well, like a lot of my colleagues who were doing PhD with me, who were married during their PhD, and they had kids and everything, and they were doing research as well. So this is a fear that we have created, some fear psychosis that shouldn't be there actually. The biggest problem that women face in science and or any other field is that we have very less connectivity with other women. Men have overcome that hurdle already, that they do interact very well and try to solve each other's problem. Only women I have seen are very, very less connected to each other, and therefore many times are left alone in situations when they need psychological support during PhD, unless they have a male friend to discuss the problem with. What is your opinion on this issue, and have you ever seen something like that? So, it is not that women are less connected or men are more connected. It's just that there are more men in science, so that they have more connections to make. But then, yes, what we can do is that since there are very few women, so you can always look for people who are like you, or you can look for we always tend to look, okay, we are in this situation, so you see a women scientist, you talk to you build collaborations with them, talk to them, talk about your problems, and you will find solutions. You and I Yes, talking about the psychological support during PhD, yes, their PhD can be very stressful, and both men and women can have issues during that, but like some have issues because when they have more pressure and things like that, and that at the time support from the family and from friends helps a lot. And if anybody is stressed, yeah, like you should talk to people, you should talk to your friends. And like women have some issues that male colleagues won't understand because they never suffered from such issues. So you can always talk to your female colleagues as well, or friends as well, who actually will help you at the time of your trouble, and like help you troubleshoot when you are psychologically slightly disturbed. You need some sane voice that will help you at the time. So yes, I strongly support that women in science should actually collaborate and talk to each other and then connect. And also, I think one of the reasons women in Kashmir are slightly shy. Some of them are very naive. They don't know how to approach and things like that. So for that reason, the outreach programs that we have, for example, will already, so people are coming to you. So like at our time, we didn't have all these things. We didn't have all these things. I mean, we had our seniors who guided us and helped us in a lot of things. But here, what we are doing is we are bringing the best people to your doorstep. All you have to do, you're not even knocking at their door, they're coming to your door. So talk to them and see how you can solve the problems. They say be a kind of woman who straightens other women's crown when it's crooked without letting others know. Yes, absolutely. One of the things is that when you help someone, you don't have to, tell everybody. Like I said earlier, that if you are having some issues, even if you think that it's some very small issue, you can always talk to us, and we'll keep it anonymous. I think it's our responsibility to, to help people, because help women, especially help women in science, because there are very very unfortunate circumstances that are putting them in a situation where they cannot go ahead. So the little we can do, all of us uh, who have gone to some point to help others in any way that you can. You don't have to, I mean, nobody does that. I mean, you don't have to tell everybody that, okay, this fellow had this problem and things like that. Do your part, just keep it anonymous. So that's it. Yeah, I think we have this responsibility to help, and yes, we should be well connected. So I think this platform, this Kosher Scientist platform, is doing an excellent job in bringing a lot of scientists, both men and women, together in one platform. And now you know who are the people, where are they, and what they are doing, and you can always ask them for advice. You can connect to them, ask for anything you want. You want to write something to some professor, ask how it is written. You want to write a grant, then you can talk to people who have got a grant in certain things. So you can ask them how did they do it. You can ask them to read yours and give you comments on that, and things like that. So yes, I think that's it. So moral of the story is help each other, and we are here to help you. And especially women, if you have any problem, any kind of problem, don't even if you think that it's very trivial, be it social or be it scientific. So we are here to help you. You can contact us. We'll pair you up with women scientists who will, try to counsel you or guide you. And it doesn't matter what stage of your career you are in. And also to people who are already doing it and are feeling some psychological problems, they can also connect us, and we can try to find some solution. A prevalent work in Shai is saying a prevalent workspace understanding is that women do feel intimidated by the male colleagues. Does it hold true in the lab settings as well as? And if that is the case, how can women overcome such fear? I do not know about whether women feel intimidated by male colleagues. Generally, uh, maybe it is true, but yeah, I can give you one example of when I was giving interviews for my PhD, and in one of the very premier institutes in India. Uh, after uh, after qualifying written exam, and then there were two rounds of interview. So we qualified first round of interview, and after that there was this faculty interaction where you are supposed to give the names of three scientists, and in that so if your rank is high, then you can get that scientist. So it's like that. So during that faculty interaction, when I went, and then I was talking to the scientist, and then he looked at me, and then he was like, are you a Kashmiri? And then I was like, yeah. And uh, and then he's like, see, you might not know what research is, but if you don't get selected, this is not the end of the world. So you might have 100th rank and not get selected. You might have 20th rank, you can get selected but not get lab of your choice. And at that time it really struck me. I was getting sad for a while. Then it struck me, what is this fellow telling me? Like, I have qualified written, I have qualified first round, and what makes him think that I will not qualify the second round? And then I told him, what if I have first rank? And then he was like, at the time, seriously, I didn't know whether I would get selected or not, but I was angry. And then his reaction was not just because I was a Kashmiri, it was also because I was a woman, because there were many Kashmiri people who were already working there, and there was no women at that time. So he thought, he was very surprised to see, oh, Kashmiri women. But then it struck me that, why, if I have qualified written, and then so I told him, what if I have first rank? And then he was like, oh, then you will get lab of your choice. And then I had second rank, but I didn't join there. But the reason I said this is because that you have to think for yourself. You have to, that's why I keep telling you, when people are trying to pull you down, stand up for yourself. People have, sometimes people even don't think, they have these subconscious biases. Like for him, he was a good scientist, but he had never seen a woman from a particular area, so he thought that, okay, like maybe it didn't even occur to him that, if this person has qualified certain thing, then this person will be worth it. But so for those subconscious things, you don't have to, when people approach to you like that, you don't have to put yourself down, you have to stand up. You have to show them. When I had when I got selected, I was happy. And then he also was bit he would have been a bit ashamed of what he said. So um, that is the thing. So be confident when you are working, or when you read something, then so you don't have to worry about what others are saying or what others are doing. So just do your job. And it's not always the case that there will be male colleagues who will bully you or something. Sometimes there will be female colleagues who will bully you as well. So you don't let that happen to you. You stand up. So that is the thing. Dr. Durafshan, should there be an initiative from NRKs, scientists, both women and men, to visit university centers in Kashmir and encourage them to collaborate with them or get them connected to scientists, that's particularly a large group? Yes, I totally agree that there should be initiative, and I think that's already going on, right? Even last year, many people from Kershire scientists, they went to different colleges and interacted with students. And yes, this particular large group has specific. Yeah, so I think many women researchers, women scientists who are I mean, Kashmiri women scientists, whenever they go back to Kashmir, they should make it a point to go to the women's colleges and give a small talk there about what you are doing. So what happens is that people, when people see people like them, then then they know that they can also do. If this person can do, why cannot I? So likewise, if I could do, why cannot you? So that is the thing. So people are very happy when they see people like them doing something. And I think it's a responsibility that we should actually go and reach out to such people. People don't, many don't even know whether you know whether we exist, because there are so few of us. Even not just the female scientists, male scientists should go as well, and go to colleges and things like that, and then guide the youth, because we in Kashmir have a lot of other problems. And because of that, we are set back, lack of infrastructure, and all the other issues. And but it's our responsibility to give back to our society in any way that we can. Yes, Anha is saying that we are already doing that. Yes, you are already doing that. And yeah, thank you everybody. I think, yeah, I think that's all that I have to say. Thank you, and Khuda Hafiz. I wish you all the best for all your scientific ventures. Assalamu alaikum.